Hi everyone, good evening. A very warm welcome to the Hack the Mountains Qubits. Hack the Mountains Qubits is a series of workshops. Qubits means quantum bits. Just like small packets of quantums of memory makes the whole memory, in the same way you'll become a tech geek at the end. So, are you ready? These workshops are started from 20th September and will continue till 9th October. These workshops are being conducted by industry professionals. What would you get by attending these workshops? Learning and experience sharing by industry professionals, e-certificates for all the participants, and also some rewards for participants during the workshop. So, are you excited? Firstly, I would like to thank all of you for being here and you can ask your queries in the chat box. So, wanted to develop apps on the web for mobile and desktop? Here comes the role of Firebase. What is Firebase developed by Google for creating mobile and web applications? It was originally an independent company founded in 2011. In 2014, Google acquired the platform and it is now their flagship offering for app development. So, in this workshop, you will learn Firebase basics. For this, we have our speaker Murat. He has interest in various tech fields like robotics, native, and web app programming. He is currently programming mentor at Cymurghs. Welcome, sir. Very pleased to have you here. So let's start our session. What is Firebase and why Firebase? Over to you, sir.
Thanks. Hello, everybody. My name is Murat. I'm currently a programming mentor at Team Cymurghs and student at Izmir University of Economics. I am working with Firebase approximately like 3 years. And now I'm here. It's my first presentation, my first public speaking experience. If I made some mistakes, please forgive me. I will give my email address after the end of the session, or you can find me at Discord server. That's it. Let's get started. Now, we will about this presentation. We will have a two main section, which is what is Firebase and why Firebase. Well, actually, it will be a short session, I guess, because we will start with basics. I will not teach. Actually, I will introduce the basics of Firebase, what is their products, what they do, and how it's everything starts. Well, actually, you probably already know before the start of the stream what is Firebase. Firebase is made for app development faster and easier, and they are doing great. I really love it. Now, they are just well, Firebase is just basically made for that app distribution, building, improving, and growing. That's what Firebase focuses on. Now, there's a three main section product category, which is Firebase Service. Build, improve, and grow, which is also three main category of building an app. So in this, every project independently working very well, but they are also connected with the Firebase ecosystem. So I will start with the Cloud Firestore. Cloud Firestore, no-scale database built for global apps. Oops, sorry. Cloud Firestore is a no-scale document database that lets you easily store, sync, and query your mobile and web apps at global scale. Well, actually, not just mobile and web apps. You can make Unity games, of course, without, but basically, actually, mostly support on mobile and web. I mean, mobile with iOS and Android. You can structure your data easily with collections and documents, which is pretty much basic of the NoSQL database system. Build hierarchies to store related data and easily retrieve the data you need using experience queries. All queries scale with the size of the result set Note, not with the dataset. So your app is scaled from day one. With Cloud Firestore, you can automatically synchronize your app data between devices. You will be notified of the data changes of they occurred, so you can easily build collaborative experience and real-time apps. Your users can access and make changes to their data at any time, even when they're offline. Offline mode is available on iOS, Android, and web platforms. Now, this is what Cloud Firestore is basically what is. Uh, there's no not too much to the thing to say. I will show you the example structure of a database with in my project, a sample project. So let's go with Firebase machine learning. Well, this is actually not a brand new, but it's a new product that Firebase team developed. I guess it's launched in 2019, 2019 with beta release, and now it's not a beta anymore. It's worked properly. Add machine learning capabilities to your app. This is what basically do use. Use Firebase ML to train and to play custom models, or use a more turnkey solution with the Cloud Vision APIs. Uh, of course, I will show it after. Whatever you are starting in an existing TensorFlow light model. If you are use a TensorFlow before, you will be get familiar and will probably love it much more. You can or training your own. You can use Firebase ML model deployment, distribute models to users over their air. To reduces Intel app installation, science models are downloaded by the device only when needed. It also allows you to the EB testing, which I will be present later. Test multiple models, evaluate their performance, and update models regularly without having to republish the entire app. That's where cloud systems working. There is no need to update every time. There is no need to distribute. There is no time to load time. It's actually getting from the cloud, getting from the internet with credentials. You can also train your own models. With AutoML Vision 8, you can easily create custom image classifications, sorry, models tailored to your needs. For example, you may want your app to able to identify different type of food or distinguishing between spices of animals. Whatever you need, just upload your training data, Firebase console, to the Firebase console, and you can use Google's AutoML technology to build custom TensorFlow light model for your run locally on your user's device. So that's again with pretty much basics of the Firebase ML technology. And now cloud functions, which is actually I've really fallen in love with these functions. I'm not one of the experts of functions, but I really love it. I will show you why I love it because you will see it's automating everything basically. With cloud functions, you can extend your app with custom backend code without needing to manage and scale your own service. This, well, actually saves a lot of money. You can't really imagine. Well, you can imagine. Go to price calculator and see how it is. Functions can be triggered by events which are emitted by Firebase projects, Google Cloud Service, or third parties with webhooks. We will see very good usage of the functions with extensions, which is a brand new, actually, it's really brand new Firebase product. So I will cut it shortly and let's move it to the authentication server. Firebase Authentication, this is the really all love it projects. One of the all fallen in love projects with the in the Firebase. Firebase Authentication aims to make building secure authentication system easily. While improving the sign-in and onboarding experience for end users, it provides an end-to-end identity solution supporting email and password accounts, phone out, Google, Twitter, Facebook, GitHub, Play Games, Game Center, and anonymous login. Now Apple supported. Well, actually, also that's what I remember right now. Facebook, it works with every platform, iOS, Android, C++, and Unity game engine. Yes. Well, this is basically, I will show you my Firebase panel to explain much more. Well, now there's the Firebase real-time database which Firebase helped burn it. Firebase, Firebase, sorry. Let me to introduce Firebase first project, Firebase real-time database. Real-time syncing for JSON data. The Firebase real-time database is a cloud-hosted NoSQL database that lets you store and sync data between your users in real time, as you can understand. Real-time syncing makes it easy for your users to access their data from any device, web or mobile, and it helps your users collaborate with one another. But Cloud Firestore enables you store, sync, and query app data at global scale. So in this time, if you're new to Firebase, I highly recommend it. Also, Google highly recommend it. Start with Cloud Firestore. It will be more beneficial, more good for you, but you are free to use whatever you want. Now, cloud storage. Oops. Well, it's just a storage, but there's a difference I would like to notice to you. So, some of the projects like this, Firebase Realtime, Firebase Authentication, and Firebase Machine Learning. These projects especially made for Firebase, but Cloud Functions, Cloud Firestore, and Cloud Storage is not made just for Firebase. It's made for whole Google Cloud platform that I will talk you a little bit later in the Wi-Fi section. Store and share user-generated content like images, audios, videos with powerful, simple, and cost-effective object store built for Google Scale. The Firebase CDK for computer flash storage and add Google Security to file uploads and downloads for your Firebase apps, regardless of the network quality. That's what basically cloud storage, but we will talk it why cloud storage is so important lately. Because as you can think, what is section? It's basically short. I will just explain what is it, what it does, and that's it. Now here comes the Firebase hosting, which is mostly I use project. You never start with Firebase. Simplify your web hosting with tools made specifically for modern web apps. When you upload your assets, we automatically push them out of the our global. This is actually Google push them out of their global CDN and give them a free CSL certificate to users get a secure, reliable, low latency experience no matter where they are. Well, actually, now I will talk it later. I will show you how to do use of that. And here's the brand new cloud functions, premium cloud functions, extensions. Now, what is extensions? Extensions deploy functional to your app quickly using prepackaged solutions. Firebase extensions are configurable and work with the Firebase and other Google Cloud Platform projects. Actually, they are just pre-made cloud function. They are just pre-made cloud functions, and their pricing calculates on Google Cloud Functions. That's why most of extension need to be activated for your Blink information. So before like 3 or 4 week ago, there's just made my Firebase extensions, but as you can see now, if we check the website also, run subscription payments with Stripe. Stripe started making products extensions for buying or well actually commerce systems, that will be help us a lot. For example, if you buy an item and it is successful, then you will get automatically push notificated from Firebase from your app. Now let's make a little example of this, how to use build tools. Let me change my screen, please. I wish you can see my screen. I will then, I don't. I can change. Check right now. Now, as you can see, there is a basic, really basic hosting example, which is it's a Vue.js project, empty Vue.js project. We will build it. Firstly, we need a Firebase tools. That's a command line interface for connecting your actually deploying your app to the Firebase hosting. Well, actually, we are in this section. We are not just basically uploading the hosting. We can upload the storage rules, Firestore rules, and let's go storage rules, Firestore rules, and hosting rules, of course. Now let's get started with npm exg Firebase tools. I already installed it. You have to install it globally and wait a little bit. So I will cancel it. I already installed it. Now, when you set up your Firebase tools, you have to write Firebase login. With this command line interface give us a link, which is give us an authentication to Firebase CLI with our Google account. Now we have to wait a little bit. Allow Firebase to collect CLI usage or error reporting information. Yes or no, doesn't matter. I will say yes, and that gives the link and to open automatically. Now, here's the choice an account to continue Firebase CLI. Select your main account or what are you using for Firebase. Here's my email address, by the way. Click Allow. Whoa! Firebase CLI login successful. Now we can close this window. Use the but I will not. I will show you how to do it. Oops. Little bit buggy. So we successfully log in the Firebase CLI. Now let's initialize our app. Firstly, we need to write Firebase init. That's shortcut of the initialize. While we are waiting, I would like to open our console. Oh, here comes some Firebase. Now, are you ready to proceed? We will say yes, of course. Now, which Firebase layer features do you want to set up this folder? Press space to select the features. Well, there's a bunch of features, which is, as you can see, database, which is real-time database, Firestore, which is cloud Firestore, functions, which is cloud functions, hosting, Firebase hosting, storage, again, it's cloud storage for security rules. We will talk about it later again. That's what now we have to select what we are using in our app. Well, actually, we just need hosting at all. because we are not configuring the actual data with the C layer. We are actually editing the rules of security for Firebase products. We can edit into the Firebase console. I will show it later. So here's now just continue with the hosting. Choose an existing project. Select your project. You want to what you want to use as your public directory. Now, depending of your application, it can be public, it can be dist, it can be something else. While wait a minute, I'm sorry. Um, while we are using Vue.js build output folder is the dist, so I will write dist. Something is a single page app provide all areas the index.html. That means if you have a 404 page, which means not found page, you will automatically redirect the index.html, but I don't want it. So that's it. We successfully initialize the Firebase hosting. We can re-initialize it with the Firebase init command again. Not later. We'll see it. Now, I'm typing yarn builds. There's a useful layer running on it. It's building now, building for prediction. Let's let's get and explore Atom project. If it works. Up. Spell is completing. There's Now, while we are waiting, I would like to give you some information about the product. Let's show you authentication page, if it can be loaded successfully. Now, as you can see, there's just the identifier, which is their emails, providers, how they connected to Firebase authentication system, created time, and last sign in, and their unique user ID while we are accessing the user database. Now, there's a sign in methods section, which is you will be see the our methods for sign in with Firebase. Here's them. You can sign with Firebase email and password, phone, Google, Play Games, Game Center, Facebook, Twitter, GitHub, Yahoo, Microsoft, Apple, and anonymously. And there's a authorized domains for authentication successfully. This is here because if someone gets your credentials to connect your Firebase project, even they are uploaded the different hosting, they can't run it. Basically, they can't run it because they are not authorized domain to access Firebase products, authentications, or whatever you want to say. There's an advanced settings for one account per email, which is we can change, allow creating multiple accounts with the same email address, but I will not. Manage sign-in quota per hour 1000, sorry, 100. So that means everyone in the world, in the sense in the system who enter, we just accept 100 sign in and sign up process per hour. There's a template section, which is email address verification. It's coming from the Firebase email system. You can change the sender name or reply to, verify your app name. We can change it here, unfortunately, and action URL, customer's action. We can customize it later, but not necessary. Password reset, email address change, and SMTP. There's a two main way to connect your mail, well, actually special mail address to your Firebase, which is one of them SMTP. If you have a multiple mail address, such as information, no reply, and your personal account, it will be great to use SMTP settings. But if you just want to use no reply, then I highly recommend that use of this custom configuration. And SMS verification, which is SMS sent by Google, name of the Google. You will get a SMS by Google, and that's how you code scam frame for two-factor authentication. And there's a usage limit. Well, actually, like they say, it's free. Authentication is free to use forever, but there's a limitation for just phone verification. United States, Canada, and India per month, if I remember true, they have just 10,000 free two-factor authentication with SMS, and all other countries, except United States, Canada, and India, they will just get also 10,000 SMS authentication. So our production is probably ready. Yep, it's ready. Now, before the upload process, we have to change some settings. Firebase Hosting, let me enter. Firebase Hosting allow us to up to 10 different websites with the same connected with the same Firebase project. Also, you can see the usage limits. You can track it. It's again a new system to track it. Advanced, you can view its cloud login, which is connected with the Google Cloud Platform. Dashboard. There, if you have a more than website, just more than a one website, you need to make these settings. With there's a Firebase JSON, which is hosting rules here. Right click, open your text editor. This is the pretty much basic, which is we can change it. This is the public directory where Firebase is trying to upload their hosting. Now we will add a little section named sites, which is explains which site Firebase will be upload. In that case, it will be, let's create a new website, click add another website, like means this is our website ID. We will just copy it, open with your browser, sorry, text editor. This is how we identify our site which will be uploaded. Now, for the Firebase just supports static website, not just. So we have to rewrite some destinations. That means any source, destination, slash index.html. Now, well, actually, we can successfully upload to the website. Let's just write Firebase deploy. If you want to deploy only hosting, there's an option for it. Only hosting. But we just set up the only hosting, so there's no need to use it. While it's waiting, let me introduce rules. Now, while it's reading, uploading, I will introduce some rules that Firestore have. Oops, rules. Don't see the data. There's nothing actually, but I will give you a little surprise. Now, there's your last 1, 2, 3, 5 history of security rules. Now, let's watch it. Now, there's some options with Cloudflare for security. If your website hacked, innocent, and try to access your database, there's a Cloudflare store rules for protection. Well, let me introduce some rules. Well, we are just basically saying match DC bot equals any document. That means in the collection of DC bot, any documents can writable or although read. Actually, it's not a true usage of use, so we can write just like that, and we can publish. Match EasyCo product data document allow read. Match EasyCo user data user ID, which is current user ID that successfully signed in. Allow read, update, delete if requested out is not equals to null, and requested out ID equals the user ID. Allow create if request out equals nothing for login systems. It can be good rules. That's why there's actually second protection systems for Firebase Firestore. It's available for real-time database, storage, and I guess hosting for that, which no, not hosting, sorry, just Cloud Firestore and real-time database. Now, probably our website. Oops. Oh, yeah. Mm, Oopsie. Try again. I will discard it. No, that's it. That's it. That's right. Let me check. Let me quick check. Oh, again, I have to check it. It's my bad. I'm so exciting and I'm so scared at the moment. I'm really sorry for that. No, I guess we can close it. Yep, here comes the Firebase. As you can see, hosting which is HTM test beginning deploy found 29 files in dist, uploading new files. It can be short or long, probably short, but will be uploaded in a moment. Avish. And that's it. After that, I will introduce how to use extensions of the Firebase. Then we will continue with the why Firebase section. Still looking. That's probably the main.js for Vue.js. So while we are waiting, I would like to introduce a fully uh, customizable admin panel. We can drag in into the anywhere. Just kidding. Now there's a quality, Crashlytics, performance, test lab, and app distribution, which I introduced before, and analytics system, which is actually it's just Google Analytics for your Firebase section. It is not different than any Google Analytics system. If I remember true, in a real project, you can directly connect your Firebase Analytics account and you can manage it your Firebase Google Analytics console. Like it have to be right there. Project settings, integration. There's a bunch of integration like that. Google Analytics enabled. We can manage it from the Analytics section. AdMob, Google Ads, BigQuery, display and display video. Google Play Console, Slack, Jira, PagerDuty, and Cloud Logging, which I connected. It's loading so lately, and it's still trying to load it. Oopsie doopsie. Oh, it's fine. You can see the Google Analytics data. It's because of the demo project I would like to show, but it's not allowing. And I have zero data at the moment, but I will try to show you. And here's a deploy completed. Oops. Here's the and ta-da! Very basic of VGS. It's home, about, a link in the sphere working properly, and that's it. How to upload a Google hosting. I can't talk. I'm sorry. And that's it. Now I would like to introduce a really good, which is my one of the favorite things in the Firebase extensions. You can really see what is this. Now we will. I actually explained what is extensions. It's a pre-made cloud functions actually. That's why it's pricing on cloud functions and cloud in the cloud functions. It's actually pre-made cloud function systems. If you can enter, please just get them. Now let's take a closer to extensions. Well, you can explore all the extensions and learn what they are doing, but I will show you delete user data. Click the install button. It will be clear data usage of cloud functions and clear data function. Click next. Review link and usage. Next. Cloud Data Store owner. Full access to Cloud Data Store. This is the access granted to these extensions. You can give granted the extensions or not. We need to give that. Now we have to select our cloud function locations, which is you can't be change it later. You can change it locally server or various function Euro West3, which is multi-region. Then after selecting your city, where you want to delete after a user deletion completed. Well, if we delete a user, their user ID gone as well. That's what we use to connect their data in Firestore. So in cloud Firestore pets, which is optional, like section. In user ID, which that means user documentation, exact user ID. Delete that path. This doesn't do more than this anymore. Again, in real-time database paths, you can write it, but we are not using real-time database, so I don't use it. Cloud Firestore delete mode shallow and user, you can use the description. Only applicable use of the Cloud Firestore path parameter. How do you want to delete Cloud Firestore documents? To also delete documents in sub-collections, set this parameter to request. So that means there's a sub-collection system in Firestore. You can create collections. Inside of the collections, you can create documents. Inside of the documents, you can create again collections. And in that collections, you can also create documents. So I will select recursive to delete their product. In real-time database paths, like I said, I will make it empty and cloud storage path results default. We have to write default path of the bucket and users and ID. Default bucket under the users, under the exact user ID, the folder. For the folder. Now we will click install extension. And it should take up to 3 or 5 minutes. We are not going to wait, of course. Let me check. While we are waiting, that's actually what I'm trying to show you. I wish I did it. Let me, oops, change the screen. While we are uploading it, let's continue with the presentation. So that's it. I use it now. Here comes the Firebase Robotics, which is improve section of Firebase building Firebase product categories. Firebase Crashlytics helps you track, prioritize, and fix stability issues that erode app quality in real time. Spend less spend less time triggering and troubleshooting crashes and more time building app features that delight the user, and Crashlytics intelligently groups an avalanche of crashes into a manageable list of issues. It also provides information on why a crash occurred and what happened leading up to it. With this insight, you can uncover the root causes of crashes more quickly, which that means the user, you can stop your bug, you can stop your failure, error without user notice it. Now here comes the Firebase performance monitoring. As you can see, you can actually monitor the performance of the your application in iOS, Android, and Unity game engine. It's actually keep your app fast and responsive. With performance monitoring, get insights into how your app performs from users' point of view. With automatic and customized performance tracking and understanding the network distances affecting your users with automated monitoring of HTTP and HTTPC requests. You can track response times, success rates, and payload size, and the time spent waiting for the payload versus downloading it. So, that's all actually doing. It's just monitoring and give you feedback what's going on in your application. Now there's another beautiful tool for Android and iOS developers, which is Firebase Test Lab. Firebase Test Lab to ensure your app quality, Firebase Test Lab provides you the physical and virtual devices that allow you to run tests that simulate actual usage of environments. Don't have tests, well, it's not quite a problem. Technology grows up with the time. So they have a very intelligent, clever bot. Its name is Robot. Navigates your app automatically. It reports the crashes, provides screenshots so you can spot errors before your users see them. And TestLab is basically a browser stack for web development, like we can think. And that's it comes to Firebase app distribution, which is another beautiful tool for mobile developers. Firebase app distribution gives a holistic view of your beta testing program across iOS and Android, providing you with valuable feedback before a new release is in production. You can send the pre-release versions of your app using console or your CI servers, which is like GitHub Actions or SQL CR or Travis CI. And installing your app is easy for testers. They do not with the markets, they do with the emails actually. Sending your beta feature to your app with email. That's it. They are sending you upload actually Tesla. You upload your EPA and EPK files to Firebase app distribution, and Firebase start sending emails that you trusted users, which is their beta version of your app, and they can give you feedback. They are sending your files. They are sending your files, your installation files, with email. They are following instructions with in this email, and they are installing app to their phone and give you a feedback. Basically, this is how it works. Now, actually, this is the three main tools, and well, actually, it's just three main tools for your improvement tools in Firebase. Now, we will continue with the growing tools, but before that, I would like to check the Firebase extension and about the actions. Functions. Let me check it real quick. Yep, it's ready. Up. Application. Here comes the Firebase. Now, here's our Firebase console. Actually, my Firebase console. Let user data. Its extension is successfully installed without no errors. Get started. It just shows you how to do control, how to change settings, what is their settings, what we can do. That's show what is it actually. Now we have to see that action. Before we do that, I would like to show you something. In storage second that we enter, there's a users folder and a folder for a user. According to there's a two picture. Like this is one of the my banner, and second I have to mind his logo. In the Cloud Firestore section, in the user segment in the correct document, if you notice the user ID at this document and storage file is the same, which is auto contain the same user. Now there's a like cloud Firebase serverless, which is array name override to say it's man, username is my email address, which is here Murat Terzioglu that auto commentary. And we can start a collection. That's what I mean. Reversing. We can create documents in collections and create collections in documents. That's what it's supposed to be. You can basically start same for the other process. So let's delete our user. Click authentication section, wait at the load, and here's our email address and our ONIQ user ID. Just click delete the account, click delete, and now it's done. Let's come back to the Cloud Firestore section, and it's actually gone because the only document in the I will talk about later. Uh, Only document in the Firestore collection is gone. So there's no need to store user data. So that's why Firebase automatically delete the user documentation. If there is no user collection, if there is no documentation in a collection that is connected, it will be automatically deleted. Let's check the storage system. Here's our the user. Oops, it's gone also. Let's check the cloud functions. Why we are checking that? I will show you. Here's our function. User delete function trigger is the user delete. If any user delete process will be uh, happen, it will be triggered. And here's the function. We can view logs, view health, and detailed usage stats, or you can just delete the function. And seems like that's it. Now we can continue our session. Chrome tab, HTM presentation. Oh, here's the now I introduced Firebase app illustration, and basically that's it. Now we continue the growing tools. Firebase in-app messaging. It's actually pretty much useful as their other tools. Firebase in-app messaging helps you engage users who are actively using your app by sending them the targeted and contextual message that nudge them to complete key in-app actions like beating a game level or buying an item or subscribing to content. In-app messaging integrates with analytics and predictions to give you advanced and target capabilities. You have to power to send message to user based on their actions, past, present, and future, and their interest, a guiding light within the app. In-app messages are highly contextual and relevant because they appear as a direct result of behavior. Well, I will not talk about it so much because I want to come quickly as I can to the why 5S section. So let's move on. Now here comes to Google Analytics. Actually, Google Analytics for Firebase provides free unlimited reporting on up to 5 discount events. The CDK automatically captures certain case events and user profiles, and you can define your own custom events to measure the things that unequally matter to your business. On every platform, iOS, Android, Web, C++, Unity, analytics surface data about user behavior in your iOS and Android apps, enabling you to make better decisions about your product and marketing optimization. Web crash data, notification effectiveness, deep leak performance, in-app pressure data, and many, many more as well. It's actually Google Analytics. There's just a menu on the Firebase console. That's it. And Firebase predictions. Firebase predictions, well, actually, it's really useful. It's predicting the what you like, what do you want. Like, if I need to read, Firebase predictions applies the power of the Google machine learning to your app. Analytics data to create user segment based on predicted behavior without requiring anyone on your app team to have ML expertise. It's automatically done actually. Predictions can give you insights into the which segment of users are likely to churn or spend. Like I like gray t-shirts, and you can love red t-shirts. Firebase predictions tell us that Murat loves gray t-shirts and other users love red t-shirts, for an example. When identifying the remote config, you can combine predictions with other targeting options. I will talk about later remote config. Includes audience, user problems, device language, OS type, app version, and country, and this goes on. That's actually it is. And Firebase A/B testing, it's actually E/B testing, just made by Firebase. Testing helps you improve your app by making it easy to run, analyze, and scale product and marketing experience. It gives you the power to test changes to your app's UI features, engagement campaigns to see if they actually move the needle on the key metrics like revenue. It's actually this is you are showing me A project and other user to B project. You real time testing in your realizing app. Firebase Cloud Messaging. Firebase Cloud Messaging provides a reliable and battery effective connection between your server and devices that allows you to deliver and receive message and notifications on iOS, Android, and web at no cost actually. Easily target messages using pre-identified segments or create your own using demographic and behavior target message the devices that have subscribed to specific topics or get granular as a single device. You can deliver a notification message immediately or at a future time in the user's local time zone, which is actually pretty good feature because there's actually, as you can see, there's a just 2 hour and 2.5 hour difference between your time zone and mine time zone. With Firebase actually Cloud Message, it's working properly with other tools as well. Use A/B testing to try out different versions of your notification message and then easily see which one performs best against your goals. A/B testing can also be used with the remote config, which will be I will tell you later, right after this slide. Try to use everything easily which one performs best against goals. A/B testing can also use the remote config. That's it actually. Sorry, I'm trying to shortcut and save time. And here comes the Firebase remote config, which is it's actually pretty much basic general settings admin panel for your application. If you change in remote config something, it's changed immediately to your app. If you change time color to blue in the remote config, it will become blue in every app in the moment. With Firebase, actually, if I need to read, Firebase remote config, you can change the behavior appearance of your app and fly from the Firebase console, and then track performance in the Google Analytics for Firebase. Customizing by audience segments, realize new content, and split test validate improvements, all without waiting for the App Store approval. It actually saves a lot of time and saves a lot of money, that means actually. And that's Firebase remote config. What does actually? And here's the Firebase dynamic links. You probably remove. I wish you remove. Did you remember that shortcase link shortcase service made by Google GOO.GL? This is him now. Filled all yet? Dynamic links are smart URLs that allows you to send existing and potential users to any location within your iOS or Android app. So that means if you have a two app, like one of the web app, which is your website, and your mobile app, with this dynamic links, You can send a request, well, actually send a link to your application, directly proceed into the web app. That's quite a stupid sentence that I ever made in this speech. I mean, let's give this on phone. If you create, if you click show in web in the exact page, for example, slash Firebase slash DetailSec in your application and click more info, it will be automatically routed to slash Firebase slash details in your web app. This is actually just changing the platforms actually. And I guess that's it. Now we come to Wi-Fi base. It will be much more shorter. Avish. I would like to remind that the Firebase CDK supports programming in C++, Java, JavaScript, Node.js, Objective-C, and Swift. Objective-C and Swift is a mobile programming language for macOS, iOS, and JavaScript is just script, Java, and Kotlin for Android mobile programming, and JavaScript is just for web apps. Well, also Angular, Vue, Ember, and React are supported through the bindings to the database. Google added a number of helper libraries like Firebase UI, pre-made UIs for Google Authentication, Firebase Authentication, GeoFire, Firebase Equa, Firebase Job Dispatcher, like that. It goes on. This goes on, really goes on. Their name indicates what their purpose is, but Firebase also supports importing large JSON data sets and integration with Elasticsearch. This can be also good feature. But I don't think we should see Firebase limited only to supported libraries or framework. As I said, Firebase is originally a system that supports languages. They are not actually the supporting framework. I mean, that's exactly where imagination comes in. There's no CDK for React made by Firebase team. There's a CDK for actually general web app working JavaScript. There's a tons of things made with the language Firebase supports. I want to give you an example of Discord here since I work in the web and JavaScript field in general. Uh, there's a make the Discord bot. Discord.js, a library is a library that we use to create bots on Discord, writing using JavaScript. Of course, there are Node.js behind it. Consider creating a web application for the Firebase project. As a result, I'm sorry. While when you create a web application in your Firebase console, Firebase give you a credentials that what change depending on your application. If you create a web app, Firebase give you a JSON data and Firebase installation method in JavaScript. Of course, there's Node.js behind it, as you think it. As a result, Firebase will provide the JavaScript credentials. These credentials are not for your React.js apps directly. Actually, you can use it in your React.js app, but it's not specifically made for React.js. This credentials for your JavaScript application. Now, here comes the example. Completed, completed with programming language. I said I changed. I tried to change. I forget to change the slide. And here's the imagination. Well, actually, nobody used, if I remember true, nobody used before Firebase in Discord. But yes, they generally use a different database, but this is possible to do. For example, there's a code we require Firebase data and Firebase Firestore like we do in a casual web application, casual JavaScript project. Then here's our project and initialize it. Then let db equals Firebase and 5%. Ta-da! It's working. There's no difference. Client on message. This is on Firebase Discord.js APIs. Oops. And there's a if section, which is our action. If message content equals add db collection that dc bot that document in the message document, set author id message author id author message author username and content message that content, then message that reply document successfully written. This section of code it's directly getting by the documentation of the Firebase Firestore for web. And as you can see, if you remember my panel, you see the DC bot message, and that's what inside. This is my author username in Discord and my ID for Discord, and content is that because I just write add and give me a reply. This is a proof of that you can use Firebase anywhere, well, not actually anywhere, supported platforms. You can use most of different platforms. You are not in a box which is inside just Unity, web, or mobile. You are free while you are using Firebase. Now, another section which is all-in-one errors for my term using improvement tools. I gave this title here because if your app was new and it didn't have a filtering feature in Google Analytics, we would probably all only see red error messages. That's it. We can't hold everyone accountable for reading data, and the data being read must be understandable. Firebase offered us a neat UI and user experience with really quality tools for this purpose. For example, event, version, structure-based filtering, metric-based performance monitoring, which as I talked before, let's explain. Structure-based filtering, metric-based performance. The choice of metrics is up to you. You can change. There's a right side that you can see because of this image. There's a section for it. You can select your metrics that what you want. Metric basing and brand new, like I said, my brand new favorite, one of the app distribution. App distribution makes your bugs more findable because you send the better features the users will use trust actually, like I tried to say before. But not with the App Store or Play Store, by email. It's so useful when you distribute closer beta to users, and there are other custom metrics for performance and crash ethics that I want to say. And bam, we talk about this is the last slide. This is the last section of our presentation, and this is the last one. So we talk about growing companies, startups, and projects can be bigger. But if you're a startup or a small company, you start with Firebase, and if you're new, you probably have this question: is it enough for me in future? Because of Firebase's compact structure and simple interface, beginners start to question Firebase effectiveness on application when they are think ahead in future. But this is not very true. After Firebase was acquired by Google, a powerful service such as Google platform, actually it's just Google platform, was merged and synced. We can give a two example of this. Yep, here's the. First, even Google Cloud Platform rejects the Firebase in all transactions. If you enter the Google Cloud Platform console and type out, you will be seeing Marketplace out made by Auto authentication for research, and Firebase Authentication. That will be automatically redirect to your Firebase console, and you need to open your Firebase project. We can. Oh, no. There was a section where I want to use the imagination. Remember? No, not that. There was a section where I want to use your imagination. Remember? We added the data to Cloud Firestore with Discord.js. As you can see, its results here unchanged as well in Google Cloud Performance. That's why I said before there's a difference between other Firebase tools and cloud tools. Cloud Firestore, Cloud Storage is directly connected with the Google Cloud Platform. If you think Firebase is no longer enough for you and you want to switch to the cloud, there are serious emanations to do this. Even Google Cloud Platform and Firebase can be used simultaneously. In fact, I think the UI and user experience provided by the Firebase during the analytics operations will help us more, and that's all I want to say. That's come finished.
Thank you, sir. That was a wonderful session, a overall wrap up of Firebase. Even I learned a lot today, and I'm very excited to work on that. I hope all the participants are so. And we have a few questions if you want to answer.
Sure, if I can, I will give my.
Yeah, the question is what the need for creating a website like LinkedIn with Firebase and how much it will take approximately.
Well, actually, this changed to how gave you time to your application. Well, but I don't prefer making LinkedIn or social media apps with NoSQL database. It's actually because of the NoSQL database system. This will be so painful and it will be long because we know LinkedIn has a lot of feature, and trying to make a direct LinkedIn app, it will be hard and loss of time and money. But if you want to make it, it's up to your change to your team. Is you're successful and have a between connection, then this will be change 1 month or 1 year or 3 years. It's actually up to you, not to Firebase, because you are using Firebase, not Firebase not using you.
Yes, sir, absolutely correct.
Is that it?
And yeah, that's it, sir. Thank you. And I would also like to thank all the participants for attending this session. Thank you all. I would like all ask all the participants to fill the feedback form. And once again, thank you very much, sir, for sparing your valuable time with us.
I would
Thanks a
like
lot.
to I would like to thank the Hacker Mountains that gave me this opportunity to us, to me actually. It's my first public speaking experience, so if I lot made a lot of mistakes that I shouldn't do. I'm sorry for that. I will I will try to make better in the future.
Yes, sir. But that was a wonderful session.
Thanks.
Yeah, okay, guys. See you there at our hackathon on 10th and 11th of October. Bye.
Bye.